that you see before you. May not be the one that you knew.
What up, fuckers? Shadow Rider here. Let's try this bad boy again. I recorded on my way to work this morning, but my mic was unplugged, so you didn't get any of that. Let's see if I can recap it. Actually, just wanted to talk about our my trip I made Sunday. A couple buddy I ride with, he called me and said, hey, let's go for a ride. We hit the local Harley dealerships. They're not local, but we try to make distance trips. Same group I rode to Moonshine with. This time we were headed, the original plan was Ash, Harley Davidson, the Brants. That's the second one. They have another one on I-69. Fort Wayne, supposedly there are 3 in Fort Wayne. Once we got to Fort Wayne, we realized there was one. We did hit that one. Pictures here. Pretty nice store. Actually, Wabash was pretty awesome. I enjoyed Wabash a lot. They had some old-time bikes hanging on the wall, like in a type frame. I took a couple pictures of that as well. Anyway, ended up in so the plan was Wabash, Brants, Fort Wayne, the 3 there. Found out there was one. Our next stop would have been, our plan was to go to Michigan, hit Sturgis, Michigan, Harley dealer there. While we were in Fort Wayne at lunch, we called to see what time they closed, because it's a Sunday. Come to find out, no Michigan Harley Davidson dealer are open on the weekends. I mean, prove me wrong. I may be incorrect, but we called 2 to 3 and none of them were open on a Sunday afternoon. Discussed it about making the trip to Toledo, which was approximately at 150 miles away. 2 hours, 2 and some change. So we ended up going to Toledo, Ohio to the dealership. Called them before we left. So they said, yeah, we close at 5, we're open. Sure, come on down. So again, we got delayed in Fort Wayne a little bit after eating. Not even going to go into that. Left Fort Wayne, ended up getting to Toledo, I shit you not, at 4:50 p.m. and they closed at 5. Guess what? Sign on the door says they close at 4 p.m. So we rode all that way for the store to be closed. On the way to Toledo, I did forget, and I'll show the map of the dealers we hit. We also hit Napoleon, Ohio, Harley dealer. They were closed as well. They were closing up as we got there. I believe I'll get some poker chips from there, because the guy I was riding with, their staff was just leaving, and they said, give us your number, we'll hook you up with some poker chips. So hopefully I get some from them. But overall, it was a nice ride, man. 485 miles, I believe. I think I got actually, that was from the start point, so I ride like 30 minutes to get to each stop point, so I'm pretty sure I was over 500 for the day. I got back to my house about around 10:15, so that was a nice day of riding. Very nice day of riding. Can't say I don't ride. We do these trips a couple weeks ago and did that, and then this weekend I get to make another trip to Ohio. So I may try to record some. I probably will be wearing my helmet just because I'm going that far. Going back for a graduation ceremony, and then riding back 4 hours there, 2 hours to the graduation point, and then a 5-hour trip back Saturday afternoon. So that ought to be some good riding time there, good seat time. I need it. It's the beginning of the season. I need to get my body needs to adjust and get accustomed to these long rides, just in case I decide to do a lot of them. I mentioned in my earlier video, my first video, this is episode 2 by the way, I mentioned that I probably wouldn't be making a lot of out-of-state trips, and here I made another one last week. So the guys I ride with, we like to do a lot of, I mean, we do the local trips, but it seems like the local charity rides and stuff don't happen for about another, I believe there's one next. Baca's in the 18th. I may try to ride with that group or that club. They do some great things for the kids. But yeah, who knows, man. A lot of local stuff, and then I like to ride out with the couple buddies that I rode with before. They're fun to ride. We haul ass, enjoy the ride, deal with all the traffic and the pain in the asses. I trust these guys. We rode a lot. I mean, you learn, the more you ride with somebody, the more respect you have for them, and just their riding style, and get used to that kind of stuff. So it was definitely a good time. I enjoy riding with those guys. A little long for me. I really wasn't as hyped about Toledo once I realized it was a 5-hour trip back home. But by the end of the trip, I was ready to get off the bike. I don't normally say that, but it was a long ass day. I was just thankful to be home at that night. I don't know. I'm trying to remember everything I talked about this morning. I enjoy riding. I really do. Those of you that follow me know that I didn't buy this bike at a Harley dealership. Collecting the poker chips is something that gives me an excuse to get on the bike and go. I was starting to collect hats from different dealers, just because I wear hats on the majority of the time. I don't wear I'm squitting it up now, no long sleeves. It's warm enough out that I decided to squid it up and enjoy the weather while we got it. Had to wear my jacket this morning. I just didn't feel like putting it on. Actually, my deciding factor was seeing someone else ride by without their jacket on or squidding it up, so that's what I decided. It feels pretty good, man. I thought it'd be a little chillier, but it feels pretty good. I gotta stop and get some fuel, but anyway. There's a bald eagle that hangs around where I live, and I saw him flying across, turned around and went back to take a picture, and pulled on the side of the road snapping pictures of this eagle. And this guy pulls up and asked me if I own that eagle. Is that your bird? And I was like, no. And my quick-witted response was, no, that's Freedom. I definitely didn't own a Harley shirt. I owned the V-Rod back in the day. I bought it at a Suzuki dealership because I went to the Harley dealership and they tried to give me a hard time trying to sell me an 03 anniversary edition. The hell, I think I got a picture of that. Then they want to take a picture of me on it, but didn't want to put a new tire on it. I bought it in Ohio, was riding back. It's not like I want to ride 400 plus miles on a bald tire. That's unsafe as hell. So I choose to do took my business elsewhere. I ended up getting an 02 V-Rod. I kind of miss it, I kind of don't. It was my dream bike, but I think my new dream bike is I wouldn't say my dream bike. I say another bike that I'd like to own. I got like a top 5 list, my favorite type bikes. I like the breakouts now. I mean, the Road King's at the top of the list. Definitely would be a breakout. I'd love to have a breakout. I'd like to own another Busa, at some point. If I ever hit the lottery, that would probably be it. I'd like to have a Jesse James built bike. That's awesome. He does some amazing work. I like the Victories, like either the 8-ball. I don't really like the new ones. I don't like all the hoopla, but I'd like to have an Indian, like a bobber type setup. I think they're the lower version model. I think everybody's trying to compete with everyone's trying to compete with the Harleys, and pretty much everyone's building the same type of bike. They all look the same, just a different model or different style, different price tag. All right, let's get this. People not paying attention on their phone. I'd rather be in front of them, getting out of their way. But yeah, I'd like a Victory would definitely be on that list. An Indian would definitely be on that list. The Breakouts, I love the Breakouts. Went up to Brant's, they had some nice ones. Oh, and another one would be a Honda Fury. That's kind of like a, it's kind of got that chopper feel. Weed Eater, the stock ones, I rode with the guy that had one, and it sounded, you definitely got to change exhaust, put something different on it. Because to me, loud pipes save lives. Yeah, but if you like the video, please hit the like button, subscribe. I haven't really done a lot in the last year. Like I said in my episode 1, I was going to try to do more this year with it. I got a little bit more focus, not a little bit more time, but I kind of do. I got my priorities are a little bit different than what they were, so should be a lot of, I'm getting an early start on the riding season, getting a lot of miles under my belt. I'm going to be doing a lot of good things this year. Going to do a lot of good rides. Ram, riding with a ride coming up. I do the Rams ride every year. This will be the 4th year for that one. I really enjoy that one. That means something. That's got a special place in my heart for that one. Alright, fuckers, I'm back. Where was I? I stopped, so on my way to work this morning. I always stop and get breakfast, get some grub. And, walked into the BK, got off the bike, guy walked in front of me, go in, and he's talking about, hey man, I like your GoPro setup. I was like, thanks man. Talking about how he used to use his GoPro for dirt bike four-wheeling and stuff, and he hit a couple of branches and said that didn't work out so well. Yeah, these setups are pretty expensive, man, to be honest with you, so you gotta take care of them. It was kind of funny because I was on my video this morning when I was talking. Of course, it didn't record because it recorded, but my mic and my volume wasn't turned up, so you couldn't even hear me. But it was kind of funny that I was talking about defensive driving and how you got to be very defensive when you're on a bike. Have your head on the swivel and blah blah blah. And it was kind of funny that he was talking about how he had been about a year ago. He had been in an accident. Somebody pulled out in front of him, and at the same time somebody pulled out in front of him, and then somebody switched lanes, and he had to lay it down at 55 mile an hour. Said he got it fixed, but he was still a little spooked by it. just hadn't been on the bike since. And I was telling him that we had rode 400 some miles on that Sunday. He was like, yeah, that's probably what I need to do, is ride with a group. It's not a bad idea, and it isn't. I mean, I ride solo a lot. Part of my topic this morning too is I'm real choosy and picky about who, or the biker community in Indy does a lot for the community and raise money for good causes and stuff like that. And I became, you can almost be picky with what type of rides you want to do. I try to do a lot of stuff for the kids, cancer. I do the Ava ride with Warrior for Children. They were part of the group of BACA, or were former members. We were trying to get the club. Man, I'm not even going to get in the club scene. It's neither here nor there. Everything's so north. There's not really much. I mean, there's a few clubs around here, but again, like I said, I don't look. I make fun of it. I don't look good in leather, so I don't normally. I'm not the guy that's going to be wearing a leather vest with all the patches and all that stuff. I've done a lot of good stuff with the Patriot Guard ride. I've done a couple of missions with them. They call them missions. May try to, if I can find some that. But if you can show respect to a fellow veteran, that's good shit in my book, right? This is a guy would pick a fucking lane. But yeah, I like I said, I do all kinds of stuff. There's I just pick and choose what I want to do and do it. So anytime I get on two wheels and do it for a good cause, that's a good thing. That's a win-win for me. I'm not a big fan. I'm finding that I'm not a big fan of noob riders or people not familiar with riding in big groups like that. It's tricky. I catch myself being in groups where I always get stuck behind a novice rider or someone that doesn't know how to ride, take corners. I mean, I'm not an expert in corners by any means, but you know what I'm saying? If you got to adjust your cornering 4 or 5 times and you're slowing up the rest of the pack, you know, that's the shit that kind of irritates me. But ride at your own level. I mean, that, to me, that's not the first time you want to go out and ride. You don't want to ride in a big group for your first time, right? You want to get some exposure underneath your belt. You want to be able to ride around your neighborhood, go to the gas station, follow all the laws, get into some simple twisties, you know, enjoy yourself and get used to the bike on your own, right? Know your controls, know how to handle the bike, and then do the charity rides. Those rides are always going to be there, right? I mean, they're not going anywhere. You can find them throughout the season. So just prepare yourself and be an avid, be a novice rider. Know what you're doing, right? You don't do crazy stuff. No wheelies, no endos, none of that crazy. You just kind of, you're in a group like that, so you're more. You want to be safe as a group. So I do, and that's why we make the trips that we do. The moonshine ride, we had a blast, man. I mean, we met with the combat vets, met them in Terre Haute and followed them. There was like, so it was me and 2 other guys, and we rode 3 deep into Terre Haute and met up with I know I'm repeating myself, but we met up with like 30 plus bikes, and then rode into moonshine from there. And then we met up with the guy. He asked if he could ride with us, hang with us, and he followed us into Effingham, which I thought was badass. So we had four deep into Effingham, and then we cut off and went to Urbana and then came home. So good time, man. Like I said, you just gotta learn, just gotta take your time, right? The ride defensive, and that's where I was going with this story. Ride defensive, know what you're doing. Always keep your head on the swivel, because these cagers, man, they don't care about us two-wheelers, man. Again, if you like what you're seeing, hit the like button, hit the subscribe. I'd share this on my, I got a Facebook page as well, Shadow Rider 73, I believe. But like, hit the share, or hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. I'm going to try to focus a little bit more on this year. Not sure what my next episode is. Hopefully I'll have this edited before I make the Ohio trip. If not, you may see this. By the time you see this, I'll probably be back from it. I'll try to do the editing and tweaking of this tonight or tomorrow. Hopefully have it done. But yeah, man, any of my fellow riders out there, keep the rubber side down, you know. Ride safe. There's been a lot of accidents, a lot of people being hurt because people aren't paying attention. And if you don't ride and you're a cager, man, keep your phone down. Handle that business when you get home. No texting and driving. And it's always nice to ride behind someone else, right? Makes it fun. You ride staggered formation, one in the left lane, one in the right lane. You want to try to stay away from the middle lane because that's where all the oil and grime and shit is.